Because Katie admits that she takes money for granted, I thought we should give her a little test and see if she could balance the family's budget with a little help and guidance from financial expert Susan Beacham.
So I thought maybe we'd start by taking a look at some of the expenses. Let's add it up. Mortgage, that's about $1,100. Water, $150. Gas for the house, $150. Our monthly expenses is $5,760 per month. Now, if we take what Dad brings home and we subtract the expenses, here's what we're left with.
$240.
$240 a month. So let's talk about some of the things that you want.
Usually if I just see something, I usually just say I want it and I go get it.
Do you get your nails done?
Yes.
Now, a monthly manicure is about $30. And your hair?
$80.
$80? Okay.
Yeah. But I feel like the whole manicure and getting the hair done is what every teenager does.
If you can't afford it.
I don't understand why I can't afford it. Like,
okay.
Why I couldn't, because, you know, my parents aren't in debt or anything.
You know what we haven't talked about yet?
What?
College. Out-of-state school for Katie is going to cost $50,000.
That's why I focus on making good grades and plan on getting a full ride.
So, if you don't get a full scholarship, what are you going to do? What's plan B, Katie?
I honestly have no clue.
How do we, as parents, talk to our kids about money in such tough economic times? Are you going to go shopping? Take a list. Go ahead and window shop, but only spend for things that are already on your list. If there's going to be a shortfall, admit it. Chances are your kids already know. So reduce the tension in the household by talking about what's going on.
Now that was Susan Beacham, who is a financial expert specializing in teaching children about money. How do you turn this tide financially?
You talked about allowance. You started it, but you stopped. You have to start it and you have to stick with it. I think it's more painful for you to go through allowance than it is for Katie right now. I think if you give Katie a set amount of money that she uses to control certain expenses in her life, not because she's charming. You don't get money in life just because you're charming. You get it because you work for it. So give her a couple of expenses that she can manage, and then Katie will all of a sudden be making decisions about her money, not your money.
Let's talk about the worst money mistakes that you say parents make. Number one, you say thinking controlling the money flow equals controlling the outcome of the child's life.
It's just not true. I think we like to think as parents that we can control our child's decisions when we're paying for it. But you know what? Ultimately, our child leaves home and makes their own decisions, and they will reflect what they've learned. And if they haven't learned anything, you're going to see that behavior.
You say another big mistake is not teaching that financial independence can actually feel good.
The same way your child felt good when they first learned how to tie their shoes. Do you remember how proud you were? Do you remember how proud they were? That's the same thing that happens when a child learns how to make good decisions with money. It feels good, and right now you're robbing Katie of that good feeling by not allowing her to do that.
You know, and that's really a big deal. There is a sense of independence that comes from mastery over your life, and it's like when you tie your shoe, you learn to drive, or you make money and you allocate money and you buy something and you say that's mine. You know how it felt when you bought your first house, you bought your first car. I mean, things where you said, okay, now it's me and I did this for myself. And we really cheat kids out of that sense of self-determination and mastery, and they can't know that. I mean, there's no way she could come and say, Mom, I need to feel some mastery in my life, so let me pay for things.
Yeah.
That's not going to happen. That's the parent's job.
Right.
You say hiding money mistakes from kids is a mistake.
I think our kids need to know we're not perfect when it comes to money so that they can learn how to fix a mistake when they make it.
And you say we only teach kids how to be spenders, not savers, not donators, those sort of things.
What I hear between Katie and her mom is they do a lot of bonding shopping. But I've not seen the time they're spending driving to the bank to make a deposit, or maybe talking about a donation that they make, or maybe even talking about what stock to buy now. Since
and Chris, you say you're getting ready to do that by getting a checking account, and because that's really important. It's astounding how much kids don't really know how that works. Susan has a great personal finance organizer for teens. It's called Cash Cash, and you can find out more about it on drphil.com. Thanks for being here today. So long.